Hey, look, I've got some albums that I haven't looked at yet, and I'm going to do that right now. Okay, in this tub, the first of several tubs that we'll be covering today. This is my more recent acquisitions from the history that recently occurred. The C&T! And they're in a, actually this is still in the shrink. It's been opened, but it's been well loved. Don't think I don't have two copies of this either, because I do. Okay. Martin Mull, I'm Everyone I've Ever Loved. And one of his comedy albums, where he's admiring himself, he really digs himself, and then a strange transformation. He's a chick with cleavage. Ooh, it's coming right at you. It's absolutely frightening. Those breasts. Oh, yes. Steve Martin, A Wild and Crazy Guy, comedy album. I think this is the one in the middle where he's holding the huge fat cat. I may be wrong. Chuck Mangione. It's not on this. This is Love Notes. This is the when he moved to Columbia in 1982. It's a you can't speak the rest of the album, but Love Note on here is a good song, and it's about 12 minutes long. Okay, this should have been with the singles the other day, but it's not. Swing Out Sister Twilight World. It's got the long version. I owned this when my original vinyl was sadly sacrificed in the Great Storage Building loss of 1993. It goes way back to the past. Sheena Easton. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is a 1982 release. And it's one of those things, it's still in the shrink, it's one of those things where it doesn't have a hit on it. It ain't got nothing. Madness, Money, and Music. And Wind Beneath My Wings. It was her. She recorded it even before Bette Midler did that version and won Song of the Year for no real reason. Okay. Best of Carly Simon. Alright, let's see what's on here. I don't think... Oh! And we're back. I don't think the Spy Who Loved Me is on this. Nobody Does It Better. Or on any of her albums, and that's odd. Well, I guess it's not. It's a James Bond soundtrack, but you'd think it would be on the album, right? Not. Three Dog Night Harmony. These guys were so huge back in the day. Okay, Old Fashioned Love Song. Other songs. I can't read it so well here. But other songs. And they were giant. They were enormous. Yeah, Honey Drippers. Volume 1. This is their only release, I guess, is Robert Plant and other guy. The Satan Worshipper, I think. Jimmy Page. Manhattan Transfer, Mecca for Moderns. White Label Promo. Gold Stamp. Meaningless because I paid $1 for it, but this was their breakthrough. Their temporary pop breakthrough, in which they had one, I believe, a #1 song, Boy from New York City, and the single Smile Again, which should have been #1. We talked about that. Carpenters. Passage. Yeah, I think this has got, it's from 77 or so. Calling Occupants, maybe, is on here. And when all you get from love is a love song. That was a biggish hit in the 77 or so. Leon and Mary Russell and the Shrink wedding album. Yes. I haven't listened to this yet. I like Leon Russell, okay? Why was it $1? I don't know. This one, I know why it was $1. There's no question why Alicia Bridges was $1. I Love the Nightlife is on here, though. And all the other songs that no one has ever heard. It's a record roast, is what it is. Speaking of which, Leo Sayer here, and this one has, oh yes, I believe this has "Show Must Go On," but not the Queen song. Again, I don't, but "Show Must Go On," that was his big early hit. Gordon Lightfoot, "Endless Wire," has his re-recording of 78 of "Circle is Small," which was a hit in my eyes. I don't know about the charts. Steve Martin, "Comedy Is Not Pretty" album. His albums were very good and very influential on a young me in the early 80s. I did not take him for granted. I'm a big fan. Eddie Murphy, "Comedian." Now this was a soundtrack to one of his HBO specials. And it, like his first album, I believe were recalled and re-edited because of the Michael Jackson jokes. He became good friends with Michael Jackson and didn't want him being called a F-word. Little River Band. And this is, what does it say? Sleeper Catcher. Hey, what's on here? I don't know. Maybe Reminiscing. That's a huge hit. A78. Lady. Yes. Big album for them. Okay, I know this one's not in such great condition because I only paid $1 for it. But it's a good album. From the Beginning is probably their best Emerson, Lake and Palmer song, in my opinion, because it's different from everything else. Now, this one. I have 2 copies of this, and you know why I have 2 copies of this? Because I ordered it, and it said, oh, it's got the 7-inch single in it. It's $2. Okay. And then I get credited immediately. Oh, we'll just give you the album because we don't have the 7-inch single. And then I ordered it again. Clearly marked with a 7-inch single. No 7-inch single. So in the next couple of days, I've got the 7-inch single coming in, which I ordered specifically. If it doesn't come in, then we got a problem. Jim Steinman wrote all of Meatloaf's good songs, other than Alive on Bat Out of Hell 2, 3, which Diane Warren, Desmond Child wrote, I think. Barbra Streisand is wet. I don't know. I'm told to hate her because she's a liberal and crazy and all that. Can't hate her. I can hate Cher. I can hate Jane Fonda. Never Streisand, man. Never hate her. Leo Sayer, "Endless Flight." This one's got, what do it got? You Make Me Feel Like Dancing, and When I Need You. How Much Love. This is essentially Leo Sayer's greatest hits, but because I think he had one more big song later on. Dionne Warwick. Dion. This one possesses and has in its sleeve Deja Vu, which is her finest post-back-to-rec song. Quarter Flash. This is the, well, let's just safely say it's their official best one, because I think they only put out 2 albums and they got divorced. Heart in My Heart, Find Another Fool. They have another song actually called Take Another Picture, which I think was on their second album, but it weren't no good. And at the time, I recall reading in Rolling Stone, and this is 82 or so, that it's just too soon for a Pat Benatar impersonator. Because isn't Pat Benatar, in her way, an imposter of her own kind? I don't know what I meant by that. I feel very bad. Steve Forbert, Jackrabbit Slim, and this one does have Romeo's Tune on it. It better, because I paid $1 for it. Yes, it does. Romeo's Tune. James Taylor in the pocket. In the pocket? That's what this is? Yes, it is. Track listing is too small to read, but Shower the People is on it for sure. We 5. You were on my mind. I believe they only had one really a hit song, and this chick retired from music, and I don't know, but it was a book. I don't know her name. Beverly Bivens. Yep, that'd be her. Olivia Newton-Baum. Making a good thing better. Okay, what's on here? Couldn't tell you. I don't know these songs. Braid, Lost Without Your Love, they broke up and got back together around 1977 and put out this final album, which I believe Lost Without Your Love is probably the biggest song on it, or the only really hit. And immediately David Gates had a solo hit with the Goodbye Girl theme song, and the band broke up, and they'd never play again. And then he went into Christian music. I don't know why, but I guess you do what you do. Okay, we didn't ask Amy Grant to leave Christian music and come to sing pop, but she did, and I'll never forgive her for it. I'll never forgive her for anything she ever did, except the one single, Next Time I Fall, with Peter Cetera. What a lovely, lovely song. Brewer and Shipley, Shake Off the Demon. Now, this is, I think, their second album, and their first album had One Took Over the Line, and I bought that for $1 at a flea market and lost it in the tragic storage building holocaust of 1993. Read about the story in my autobiography. Kenny Rogers, Pre-Plastic Surgery, You Turned the Light On, You Decorated My Life, epic song, She's a Mystery, don't know. I think Code of the County is on here, yep. Okay, checks out. Carole King, Rhymes and Reasons. Now, our albums all were very big hit albums, but following Tapestry, which was one of the biggest albums ever recorded, even though your album's selling real good, what are you going to do? I mean, it's the Thriller effect. She put out Tapestry, which is a masterpiece, and everything else, so a lesser masterpiece was whatever. Longest in Messina, Mother Lode. Now I looked at this and I didn't see any huge hits that I recognized. I probably would recognize them by the sound. Then there was a time when Kenny Loggins and Michael McDonald were the same person. Carole King, and this is Simple Things. I believe this had her biggest post-Tapestry hit, Hard Rock Cafe, in 1977. That was a very, very huge hit. Juice Newton. Juice. No, Juice is the next. Anyway, she had some marginal hits. Heart of the Night. I don't know if that's the Poco song or not. I didn't check it. Break It To Me Gently. Good song. Yep. She's what you call early 80s hot. Trust me on this. More Juice Newton. I think this is this had Angel of the Morning. It had Radham Kelway's a Paul Davis song. The Sweetest Thing. Big hit. Ooh, whoops. Alright, Carly Simon, come upstairs. This has Jesse, which, if you haven't heard Jesse, and I can't play it because I'm going to get taken down by YouTube because I'm a copyright thing, because I'm an influencer now, so I gotta stay on here for you guys. This is a maybe 1978-79 release, and Jessie is a song about a woman who has a man that abused her, and he went away, and she got over it, and she recovered, and got a friends group support network, and he comes back in town, and she says, "Don't let him near me, don't let him touch me." And then by the end of the song, she's back with him, and she's feeling bad for all the people that tried to tell her to stay the hell away. You won't hear it on the radio now. I wonder why. Me too. Chuck Mangione. This song feels so good. It's about 10, 11 minutes long. I bought the single when I was a young kid, and it's about 2.5 minutes. But when you get the album, when you defraud Columbia Record and Tape Club and finally get the album, and that song is a full 11 minutes if it's 1 second. You're in for quite a ride, mister. Quite a ride. Now the Chuck Mangione, my main Chuck Mangione early memory. Let's say it's New Year's Eve into New Year's, 1979. And I was watching, because I'm 11 years old, I don't have anything to do, and I'm watching, of all things, the CBS New Year's Eve show. And so Chuck Mangione is on there, and he's playing his crazy song, big, huge, mega international hit from a year before, and the lights go out during his song, and they stay out for like 4 days, early 1979. And I remember because the next day we went to Tanner's Grocery and I bought a Spider-Man comic, and I think it was one that had Jigsaw as the villain. And it was a good issue, and I read it because I couldn't watch TV or nothing. And I remember it like it was almost yesterday, 40 years ago. C&T, Cabinet Daniil again. This is one of their lesser selling albums after they moved to Casablanca. And a little sexy. They had a big, check her out. Oh, those legs, they're coming right at you. In 3D. And in the back cover, there's this guy here, who I assume is probably a producer, some kind of inside joke thing. Daryl Dragon, who recently passed away, is either looking at her or looking at him. Hand on leg. Everything's covered properly. Okies. And let's see what's on this album. But I think it's a dream. Don't forget me, gentle stranger, keeping our love warm since I fell for you. That's a traditional song. Song for my father. This is not the first time. Until you come back to me, that's what I'm going to do. That's a great... Stevie Wonder wrote that, and Aretha Franklin recorded it. That's a great song. I bet they ruined it. C&T, they were a Vegas-type group. And Tony Timmel later recorded some standards things, and I looked up her discography, and I don't know, it was, I'm willing to track some of this stuff down. Steve Martin, wild and crazy guy. And this was it had King Tut on it. It was a classic early recording. His comedy albums were very funny. His stand-up was very good. And it's not expensive, and you'd be wise to track it down. It's not triple X rated. It's got some curse words in it. Let's say most of it's a PG-13 at worst. But it's good. It's funny. That's my recommendation. And now I'm out of time. But this is just the first. The first of many boxes. And there's about, I'd say I have 10 or 11 of these to go through. And then I'm going to start pulling music and reviewing albums for you 2 and 3 at a time. And that's what I'm going to do. And I will talk to you on our next exciting video journey together.